Hey, what's up? Alex here. In this video, we're going to look at what are some of the popular smart switches out there today, all the way from less than 20 bucks to a few $100s. I'll be checking out the aesthetic design, the build quality. You'll be able to listen to how they sound, see how they perform, any interesting features, and most importantly, the integration options. I won't be looking at switches that are only available in the US because since I'm based in Singapore, it will be all UK, EU based switches. But for some of them, they do have an equivalent model for the US market. Another thing is I don't want to look at all the Tuya variation switches as they are all considered to be pretty similar to one another. So I've gathered a total of 9 switches using various protocols. Here's the lineup from the cheapest to most expensive. Price is all in Singapore dollars. First up, we have Xiaomi. I don't think they have a model name for it. Seems like it's just called Mi Smart One-Way Wall Switch inside the app. It's based on Bluetooth, comes in only white color. Single gang costs $17, 2 gang costs $19. Next is the Tapo S220. This is not officially launched in Singapore yet at the time of shooting this video. It is based on Zigbee, only in white color as well. Based on the price on Amazon UK, 1 gang is $26 and 2 gang is $49. Next, we have the Broadlink TC2S, which is the only full touch type of switches I have today. It is using RF, radio frequency, also comes in only white. 1 gang costs $29 and 2 gang costs $31. Next is the Meross MSS510X. This is a Wi-Fi switch, so no hubs required. You can get them from their own official website with free shipping to Singapore. It is only available in 1 gang white color and costs around $35. Then we have the Moes star ring switches. Moes is a Tuya based product. I intend to just cover one Tuya switch. The star ring is based on Zigbee, comes in white or grey color. 1 gang is $38 and 2 gang is $40. Moving to a higher price tier, first up is the Aqara H1. Their switches are all Zigbee based. The H1 comes in only white color. What I have here is the non-neutral version, which is slightly more expensive. 1 gang costs $60 and 2 gang costs $66. Next, we have the Sonoff NSPanel. This is a 2 gang switch that comes with a 3.5-inch touchscreen. Very popular in the home assistant community, Wi-Fi based, and you have 2 color options, white or grey. This is only in 2 gang, costs around $90. Next is the Wiser switches from Schneider Electric. What I have here is the normal light switch. They also have dimmer and curtain switches as well. These run on Zigbee, comes in 2 color options, white or gold with different prices. For gold color, the single gang is $142 and 2 gang is $155. Lastly is the switches from Lutron, one of the most popular brands globally. They have multiple product lines. What I have here is the RA2 based on their own RF technology and with 5 color options. Their concept is quite different from others. The equivalent for 1 gang will require the dimmer module and the Pico switch, and that cost is around $382. Next, we are going to look at the design and build quality for each of these switches. The Xiaomi has very round edges, a border around the switch, glossy surface, no front light indicators. It has the look of a traditional switch whereby the side profile is not flat. The wiring module is pretty big, not a lot of space for you to run your wires around. To install the switch, you have to pull out the buttons, which is super easy. Inside looks very clean with an on and off switch, quite uncommon to see that. Overall build quality, I'll give it a B+. The Tapo has quite a squarish edge, glossy surface, no front light indicators. Side profile is quite thick, also with the traditional switch look where it's not flat. The wiring module is considered small, lots of space at the back. To open up the cover, there is an open and closed catch below, very easy to open. Inside, there is actually a battery housing for 2 AAA batteries. First time seeing this, I'll figure out what it is for. There is also a pairing button inside. Overall build quality, I'll give it a B. The Broadlink has a very squarish edge. It's a touch control, so you have a glass surface, a small front light indicator. From the side profile, you can see it's flat. The wiring module is very big, not a lot of space for your wires. Opening the inside, you can see very exposed pin connectors. Overall build quality, I'll give it a B-. The Meross has round edges, a matte surface. There is a front light indicator. The side profile is not entirely flat, a very slight protrude below. The wiring module is very small, giving a lot of space to run your wires around. From the inside, you can see the circuit board wide open. The switch feels very light as well. Overall build quality, I'll give it a C. The Moes star ring has round edges, a matte surface, a ring light indicator in front. From the side profile, you can see the front is flat, very clicky button. The wiring module looks slightly thicker but ample space for wires to run around. Opening up is just a cover to access the screw holes. This is made of metal, which you need to take note with neutral wires. Overall build quality, I'll give it an A-. The Aqara has a very squarish edge, matte surface. There is a front light indicator. From the side profile, you can see it's flat, very clicky button as well. The wiring module looks alright, should have enough space to run wires around. Opening up, you can see pin connectors partially covered. This switch has a good amount of weight to it. Overall build quality, I'll give it an A. The Sonoff has a slight squarish edge, buttons are in matte, no light indicators, but I know the indicators are displayed on the screen itself. From the side profile, you can see this is flat. The wiring module size looks normal, some space to run wires. To open up the switch is quite difficult, one of the hardest. Inside, you can see pin connectors as well, but nicely covered around. Overall build quality, I'll give it an A. The Schneider electric has round edges, acrylic glass on the buttons, very visible branding logo at the bottom right. There's a front light indicator. From the side profile, this is entirely flat as well. The wiring module is quite big, not a lot of space for your wires. To open up the front cover is very easy, no tools required. Inside, you can find a QR code and a pairing reset button. Overall build quality, I'll give it an A. Lastly, the Lutron. First is the dimmer wiring module. It's pretty big, so it's much easier installing them on a false ceiling, dry walls or carpentry works. They call this the Pico switch. It has dedicated on and off buttons instead of the standard toggle. The up and down buttons control the dimming. No light indicators at the front. You can see that its surface is very nicely coated. Overall build quality, I'll give it an A. Next, it's time to install all of these switches at different parts of my house. I got my trustworthy electrician to help me with this work as I'm not an expert at wiring. I have put his contact in the video description if you need help with electrical works. Very good workmanship. So now all of them are installed, let's take a look at how they look on the wall. A lot of people don't pay attention to the design of these switches, but to me, they can affect how the entire house renovation looks. I understand that everyone has a different taste and preference, so let me just share what appeals to me. I prefer slight round edges, matte surface, flat from the front with light indicators. To give you my top 3 favorite among these 9 switches, they are the Schneider electric visor, Moes star ring, and the Sonoff NSPanel. I understand the NSPanel doesn't really fall under the same category as the rest, but no doubt it really looks very cool on the wall. How the switch sounds may matter to some people, myself included. There will be 2 different types of sound coming out from the switches. One is by manually pressing them, the other is via app or when it's automatically triggered. So I'll be putting my mic up close and let you hear both of them. Next up, we're going to test out how responsive the switches are, what kind of latency we're getting from them. I'm not going to use their own native app to test this, it's because some of them implemented local control inside their own app. And also in the real world, you're not going to use their apps anyway. So I'll be testing this over at Google Home since all of them can be integrated into Google except for one, the Xiaomi. In this section, I'm going to talk about what are some of the useful, interesting features that can be found on these switches. First is being able to configure it as a wireless switch or decouple mode. This means that it will no longer control the lights where it is wired to, and then you're able to set automation rule as to how you will set for a button device. For example, press once, then execute a scene to close all the curtains in the house. For this feature, you can find it on the Xiaomi and Aqara H1 switches. Next is being able to set reverse light indicators. Usually the default is when the switch is on, then the light indicator lights up. So this setting is basically the opposite. Light is on when the switch is off. I find it more useful this way, especially at night when you have difficulty locating the switches. For this feature, you can find it on the Moes ring, Schneider electric visor, and the Meross. For the Tapo S220, there's a delay timer that you can set whenever you want to off the switch. This is good for cases like if it takes about 10 seconds for you to leave the area from where the switch is, and during this 10 seconds you still want the light to be on, then this will be helpful. For Lutron, it has the capability to do a nice gradual increase or decrease effect of the brightness level when you are switching on or off. For the Sonoff NSPanel, from the default screen, it shows you the date and time, your location temperature, and the temperature inside your house. Swipe to the next screen is where you are able to put your devices here that you want to control. Right now, it seems like it only supports a switch type, smart lights, and smart sockets. So here you can see I put my AC, which is an RR device, and my smart lights. There is the color wheel and slider for the brightness level, so instead of taking out your phone app to control, you can do this easily here. It is also able to link to a thermostat, though it's not applicable for Singapore's weather. Everything that we have tested and checked out in this video so far is actually kind of redundant if ultimately the switch is unable to integrate to the smart home platform that you are using. I always stress this: pick your smart home platform first, then pick the devices. The integrations you see here are based on what's officially available out of the box, so I don't factor things like Homebridge for HomeKit or community drivers for SmartThings, or custom integrations for Home Assistant. You can simply narrow down your options based on what you see here and check out my previous videos on my recommended setup for the different platforms. If integration is not a concern, then continue watching for my recommendation next. Now brings me to my overall best value award. I'm giving it to the Moes ring. Today, if I'm going to change away all my switches for the entire house, I'll go with the ring. It's able to integrate with all the major smart home platforms except for HomeKit. As much as integration is important, the looks, sound, and feel of a switch matters a lot to me. It runs on Zigbee, which is my preference, and the flexibility to install neutral wire. The build quality is also very reasonable for the price that you are paying. I will also highly recommend getting the Sonoff NSPanel. Of course, this is not meant to replace all the switches, but at least having one or two in the living room, provided you didn't have a smart display or a custom dashboard that is already mounted on the wall, which most of the people didn't. Able to quickly change the color and brightness for all the smart lighting in the house is very convenient. You can also set the buttons to run your Google scenes. Imagine that. Personally, I hope the thermostats can be used to control AC temperature, then that would be perfect. I really want to love the Schneider electric visor switch, but the lack of integration options means you're kind of locked into their platform products, which itself is very limited. I read that they have plans to have their hub support matter, so hopefully this will resolve the issue. If the price is around the price of the Aqara H1, then it's still alright. But at more than double the price, it's hard to justify. But what about Lutron, which is also very expensive? Of course, at this price point, it's definitely not meant for everyone. I watched many home tour videos, and many times I saw people chip out the switches. To me, if you're spending like 100, 150k or more than that for a renovation, you should definitely consider getting branded switches like Lutron. It's a very reputable brand, very popular in the US, and you see many tech YouTubers like Smart Home Solver, Shane, Snazzy Labs, all using Lutron in their house. If you decide to install the Lutron RA2, I would suggest you to engage a company. In Singapore, you can look for the company called Aqara H1. They can help you to plan out and set up everything, or at least get an electrician that has experience with the product. However, if changing a smart switch is not an option for you, or you simply don't want to deal with all the electrical wiring stuff, the SwitchBot board is always an awesome retrofit solution to turn any switches smart. SwitchBot recently released their first Matter-enabled device, their SwitchBot Hub 2. This is my first experience with Matter. This device is a combination of hub plus RR blaster plus smart button plus a humidity temperature sensor all packed into one single device. I have this placed at my bedside table, added my AC in my master bedroom to the hub, and set the touch buttons to turn on and off my AC. With that, this helps to free up my existing button to trigger other devices. It is able to sync the aircon status to the app as well. We also finally see SwitchBot working with Apple HomeKit. You can now use SwitchBot curtain and SwitchBot blind tilt directly through Apple Home. If you are interested to get a SwitchBot Hub tool, remember to use my link and code to get a 15% discount, valid till the 10th of May. Hopefully this video gives you a better idea in choosing a smart switch, or at least be aware of what is available out there. Let me know in the comments below if you think I missed out something that is worth checking out. I realize there isn't many videos like this. It's really not easy and takes a huge amount of effort to make. So remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.